Greetings, everyone. Today I'm going to share with you the Rebbe Nachman of Breslov parable, The Rooster Prince, or as some people choose to translate it, the Turkey Prince. Wouldn't that make a great Purim debate? It was a rooster. It was a turkey. Rooster, turkey, rooster, turkey. Whoa, it's not important, really, which bird it was. I'm going to tell it as a rooster because that's the way that I heard it over 50 years ago. And the story goes like this. A prince went insane and came to believe that he was a rooster. And so he took off his clothes and he got down under the table and he began to cluck like a chicken. And he ate crumbs off the table. And the king was going nuts over this. What am I going to do? My son, the heir to the throne, he thinks he's a chicken. He's going to inherit the kingdom. Nobody could convince him not to be a chicken. The king calls out to all the wise men of the country. The doctor comes in and takes his temperature and says, well, he seems normal physically. There's nothing wrong with him. And the psychiatrist comes in and says, well, maybe he has delusions. I don't know, something going on with this guy. And eventually, the magician shows up and says, I've got a magic potion. All he has to do is drink this and it will work. Well, that doesn't work either. None of the wise men of the kingdom were able to cure the prince. Not even the sergeant of the army who comes in and just basically orders him, get out from under that table. You stop being a rooster. That didn't work either. The king was at his wit's end. What is he going to do? Well, in comes another wise man, dressed like an Orthodox Jew, a Hasidic Rebbe, and he says to the king, I can cure your son. The king never heard of this guy before. Who the heck is he? Well, let him try. Everybody else tried. And so the Rebbe takes off his clothes, gets under the table, and he starts to cluck like a chicken and crow like a rooster. And the prince says, who are you? Who are you? And the Rebbe says, I'm a chicken, just like you. Well, they get to know each other eventually, and the Rebbe calls for a pair of pants and says, I want to put on a pair of pants. And the prince says, what are you doing? Chicken can't wear pants. And the Rebbe says, what am I going to do? Oi, I can't, of course a chicken can wear pants. It's cold under here. I would like to be warm and comfortable just like the humans, and he puts on a pair of pants. Now the prince thinks about that, and he puts on a pair of pants. Pretty soon, the Rebbe calls for a shirt, puts on a shirt, and after that, the prince decides, okay, I'll wear a shirt too. The Rebbe says, bring me a plate of food, and he eats the food with a knife and fork, and the prince, he does that too. And eventually the Rebbe says, look, we don't have to sit under the table. You're the prince. Come on, let's get out from under the table, and we'll sit like everybody else. And so that's what he does. And so, eventually, the prince was cured. And he realized that he wasn't really a rooster. Now, what do we learn from this story? When you're trying to convince somebody to do something that they don't want to do, but they have to do, whatever that might be, keep Shabbos, keep kosher, be nice to your friends, I don't know, whatever. If you yell at them, scream at them, lecture them, it's not going to get you anywhere. But if you can meet them at their level and start from where they're at, then perhaps you can move them forward. Rebbe Nachman, in the late early 1800s, was a very good psychologist. And one last thought. If you think about it, I think now you can figure out why my username is Rooster613.